Husband lied to me about his college reunion being for former students only and left me back home. Then I found out it was all a lie after seeing pictures of his friends' families and him pretending to be single with his college ex at the reunion. I've received over 200 missed calls ever since I decided to turn his lie into a cold, hard fact by letting him return to an empty home with printed pictures of him from the night. This week, my husband had his college reunion party. He has always talked so fondly about his college years. Over the years, he has shared so many stories with me about that time in his life. He often says those were the best days he's ever had. He tells me about the fun times with his friends, the adventures they went on, and all the memories that still mean so much to him. Because of how much he talks about it, I was actually really excited about the reunion. I was looking forward to going with him, seeing the campus, meeting some of the people he always talks about, and just being a part of something that meant so much to him. But then, to my surprise, he told me that the reunion was only for former students. No family members, no spouses, and no friends were allowed. I was a little disappointed when I found out I had imagined being there with him, experiencing a piece of that part of his life and getting a better picture of the stories he tells. But I figured there was nothing I could do about it. If that's the way the event was planned, then that's how it had to be. So I just accepted it and let him go on the trip by himself. Right now I'm 4 months pregnant and we're expecting our first baby. This is a big moment for both of us, and my husband and I have been really excited about becoming parents for the first time. It's a whole new chapter in our lives, and we've talked a lot about how things are going to change and what kind of parents we want to be. Since I became pregnant, I've been taking a break from work. My body has been going through a lot of changes and I haven't been feeling my best. I've had really bad morning sickness and a lot of pain all over my body. It's been tough physically and emotionally. My doctor has made it very clear that I need to rest as much as possible. So for now, I'm focusing on taking care of myself and the baby. Because of this, my husband is the only one working and bringing in income at the moment. Besides earning money, though, he doesn't really do much to help out around the house. I've been handling most things on my own, even though I don't always feel well. Still, I know he's been feeling a bit overwhelmed lately. He's been complaining about work and how stressed out he is. So when he told me about the college reunion, I figured maybe it would be good for him to take a break, relax, and spend time with his old friends. Even though I was a little hurt at not being invited, I thought it might lift his mood and give him a chance to enjoy himself. Anyway, after my husband left for his trip, I started to feel a bit uneasy. He barely texted me while he was away. Most of the time he didn't even reply to my messages. And when I tried to call him, he ignored most of my calls. I tried to tell myself he was probably just busy catching up with old friends or caught up in all the excitement, but deep down, it didn't sit right with me. After the college reunion party happened, I waited to see some photos or hear more about how it went. But he didn't send me anything, not even a simple message to share how it went. When I kept asking, he finally sent me just 1 or 2 photos, and they were just group shots with a few of his close friends from college. That's all I got. Something about it felt off. I couldn't shake the feeling that he wasn't being completely honest with me. So I got curious and decided to look up some of the people he mentioned on social media. That's when I got the biggest shock. As I scrolled through their posts and pictures, I saw clearly that this so-called former students-only reunion actually included family members too. That's right. Almost everyone had brought their spouses or partners. Wives and husbands were there, enjoying the event together. It hurt to realize that my husband had lied to me. He had told me I couldn't come because it was only for former students, but in reality, he just didn't want me there. I stayed home, pregnant and exhausted. Well, he went and had fun with everyone, including people who brought their families, without even telling me the truth. I almost couldn't believe what I was seeing. It just didn't make sense to me. Why would he lie about something so simple? If he truly didn't want me to come, he could have just been honest about it. I'm not the kind of wife who feels the need to tag along everywhere. I believe in giving each other space. He has his own life and I have mine. We both need room to breathe, and I've always respected that. So the fact that he made up a lie, that the reunion was only for former students, really bothered me. It wasn't just the lie itself, but the fact that he went out of his way to keep me from being there. That kind of effort felt unnecessary and suspicious. It made me start to wonder if there was more going on than just wanting to catch up with old friends. Something about it just didn't feel right, and I couldn't shake the feeling that he was hiding something from me. I'm very aware that my husband had a serious ex-girlfriend back in college. He's never really hidden that from me. In fact, he's talked about her quite a bit over the years. Whenever he brings her up, it's always with a kind of admiration or deep respect. He remembers her fondly and often describes her in a very positive way. When we first started dating, he even told me that his ex was the one who got away. I remember hearing that and feeling a little unsure. But I let it go because I figured it was just part of his past. Everyone has a history and I didn't want to be the kind of partner who holds someone's past against them. Still, knowing how much she meant to him and hearing the way he used to speak about her, those memories have always stayed in the back of my mind. I couldn't ignore the feeling in my gut. Something just didn't sit right with me. My instincts were tingling, no matter how much I tried to brush it off. The uneasy feeling kept growing, so I decided to do a little digging. I started looking through some of my husband's old college friends on social media, trying to see if I could find his ex-girlfriend, and sure enough, I found her. Thankfully, her account was public, so I was able to view her posts and stories without much trouble. What I saw took my breath away. There she was, smiling from ear to ear. And right beside her in several photos was my husband. They looked like they were having a great time. In one photo, he even had his arm around her and they looked way too comfortable for just casual old friends catching up. As I kept scrolling through her posts, I found out something else. She was recently divorced. That discovery made everything I had seen hit even harder. The fact that she was single again and my husband had lied to me. To go to this reunion where she also happened to be, suddenly felt like more than just a coincidence. It felt personal. It felt planned. And it made me question everything. My stomach dropped the moment I put all the pieces together. Suddenly, a wave of questions and doubts hit me all at once. Is this the real reason he didn't want to take me with him? Did he want to be around his ex without me there? So he could act single? Maybe even try to relive those old college memories? My heart started pounding. I couldn't help but wonder, did he cheat on me? While I'm here at home pregnant with his child, resting on doctor's orders and doing everything I can to take care of myself and our baby. Was he off with her, pretending like none of this existed? All kinds of thoughts were racing through my head. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but the silence from him made it worse. I tried calling him again and again, hoping he'd answer and just explain or reassure me. But every call went straight to voicemail. No response, nothing. It felt like he was purposely ignoring me. And that silence cut deeper than anything he could have said. After hours of calling and feeling completely ignored, he finally answered the phone. I was expecting at least a calm explanation, but instead, the first thing he did was scold me. He had the audacity to sound irritated, like I was bothering him for no reason. He actually told me that I was disturbing him and that I needed to stop hovering over him. He said he just wanted to enjoy his life for a while and that I should give him space while he is with his friends. Hearing those words broke something inside me. I felt so small, so hurt. I couldn't understand why he was so angry with me, especially after everything I had just seen, and after being left alone, pregnant, and emotional. I wasn't even trying to fight with him. I just wanted to talk, to understand, to hear some honesty from the man I trusted. But before I could say anything more, he ended the call just like that. No explanation, no reassurance, nothing. He has left me confused, heartbroken and full of questions I didn't even know how to ask anymore. Ida for how I behaved? Update 1. First of all, thank you to everyone who took the time to read my post and send messages, comments, and support. I didn't expect this to get the attention it did, but I truly appreciate those of you who were kind and gave me space to process what happened. A lot of people ask questions, so I thought I'd answer the most common ones here. Question: are you sure that was his ex in the photos? Could it have been just someone who looked like her? Answer: yes, I'm 100% sure it was her. I found her profile through his old college friends. She had tagged him in a few posts and stories and I clearly saw their names and faces together. I've seen old photos of them before and have heard her name more times than I can count over the years. There's no mistake, it was definitely her. Question: have you confronted him about what you found on social media? Answer: I tried to, but I didn't even get the chance. When he finally answered one of my many calls, he was cold and angry. He told me I was hovering over him and that I should let him enjoy his life. Before I could bring anything up or even ask a question, he cut me off and ended the call. I haven't spoken to him since. He hasn't texted or called back. Question: could it be that nothing actually happened between them and it was just a friendly catch-up? Answer: of course that thought crossed my mind. I want to believe it. But when you combine the fact that he lied to me about spouses not being allowed, barely contacted me during the trip, ignored my calls and then turned hostile. The moment I tried to reach out, it's hard not to feel like something is going on, especially when I see him hugging the woman he once called the one who got away. The emotional part of it already feels like a betrayal, whether something physical happened or not. Question: do you think he cheated? Answer: I don't have proof that anything physical happened, so I don't want to say that. But emotionally, it's hard not to feel like there's something deeper going on. At the very least, he's hiding something from me, and he went out of his way to lie. That in itself feels like a kind of betrayal. I don't know yet what he did, but I know it wasn't innocent. Question: what are you going to do now? Answer. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm 4 months pregnant and completely emotionally drained. I'm staying with a friend for a few days to clear my head. I haven't told my husband I left the house. He hasn't tried to reach out since the call ended. I'm not ready to make any huge decisions yet, but I do know I need answers and soon. Thank you again to everyone who's been supportive. I'll post another update when I'm in a better headspace or when something changes. Right now, I just need some time to think and breathe. Update 2. It's been a few days since my last update and I wish I had better news, but honestly, things have only gotten more confusing and hurtful. My husband still hasn't come back home. I found out this morning that he's extended his stay. He actually called me, not to check on me or ask how I'm doing, but to casually let me know that he's having a good time and wants to spend a few more days with his friends. No apology, no mention of our last conversation, no concern about me being 4 months pregnant and on my own. The way he said it, like it was no big deal, made my blood boil. I didn't even know what to say. I just listened quietly while he acted like everything was normal. But the truth is, I don't believe him. Not anymore. After everything I've seen and felt, I don't think he's just with his friends. Maybe he is seeing them here and there, but I believe there's someone else he's prioritizing. Specifically, his ex. The one he lied to me about. The one who's recently divorced. The one he was physically close to in the photos I wasn't supposed to see. So I asked him to video call me. I said if he was truly with his friends, then he should have no problem proving it. The moment I asked, his whole tone changed. He got defensive right away and snapped. What the hell are you talking about? I calmly explained that I just needed some reassurance. After everything that's happened, the lies, the silence, the photos, I needed to see that he was telling the truth. And that's when he got angry. He didn't try to calm the situation. He didn't try to understand where I was coming from. Instead, he turned everything around on me. He said I was being crazy. That I was overreacting and that my pregnancy hormones were messing with my brain. He made it sound like I was the problem for asking something so simple. Hearing him say that broke something in me. I know pregnancy is hard, and yes, I'm emotional, but I'm not imagining things. I'm not paranoid. I saw what I saw. I felt what I felt, and instead of supporting me or giving me any sense of comfort, he was using my pregnancy as a weapon to discredit me. This was the moment I couldn't hold back anymore. I had to confront him. I told him directly that I knew he was doing something shady. I told him I was sure he was with his ex. And that I had actually seen her in pictures on other people's social media accounts from the reunion. I asked him point blank, "Were you with her?" For a long moment, he just stayed silent. That silence felt like a punch to my chest. It was as if by not answering, he was admitting everything without saying a word. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I broke down crying right there on the call. The tears just spilled out because his silence hurt more than any words could. After a while, he finally spoke, but instead of owning up, he tried to argue with me. He said I was overthinking everything, that there was nothing going on between them, and that I was letting my imagination get the best of me. But I wasn't buying it. I told him straight up that I didn't believe a word he was saying anymore. He called me names, things like crazy, paranoid, and said I was acting irrational because of my pregnancy. It felt like he was trying to make me feel small and crazy. For even questioning him. He didn't seem to care about how hurt and confused I was. He just kept attacking me, making me doubt my own feelings until I couldn't take it anymore and I just cut the call. At that moment, I felt more alone than ever. Right now, I'm trying to keep myself calm for the sake of the baby. My body is already under enough stress and now my heart and mind are too. I know people will ask what I'm planning to do next, and to be honest, I still don't know. But I'm slowly realizing that whatever happens next, I can't go back to how things were. The trust is broken. And right now, I don't feel safe or valued in this relationship. That hurts more than I can explain. Thank you again to everyone who's reached out. I'll update again if anything changes. Please keep me in your thoughts. Update 3. Feeling more lost and scared than ever. I knew I couldn't just sit around waiting for my husband to come home. Or for him to suddenly answer my calls. I needed to find out the truth, no matter how painful it might be. So, I decided to reach out to one of his college classmates. Someone I barely know, but who I've heard is really close to my husband. We never talked much before and honestly, I was nervous about messaging him. I wasn't even sure if he would respond or if he'd want to get involved in my personal issues. But I was desperate. I explained everything in my message. The reunion night, how my husband never came back, how I'm 4 months pregnant and struggling to get through each day without him, and how worried and confused I am. I asked if he knew anything about what my husband was really doing or if he had heard anything from the reunion that could help me understand the situation. I tried to be careful with my words. Not wanting to sound accusatory, but needing answers. I honestly thought I might get no reply or a vague answer at best. Maybe he'd say it wasn't his place to say anything, or he'd tell me to ask my husband directly. But to my surprise, that friend didn't hold back at all. He messaged me back with details, things I never expected to hear. He told me about my husband's behavior at the reunion, who he was spending time with, and even about some things my husband had said that made it clear he wasn't just catching up with old friends. What shocked me the most was how he didn't try to sugarcoat anything. Instead, he laid it all out. He told me my husband met up with his ex at the reunion, just like I suspected. They spent the evening drinking together, laughing and acting like nothing had changed between them. But it wasn't just innocent catching up. According to my husband's friend, later that night they ended up going back to a hotel together. Hearing that crushed me. I could hardly believe what I was being told. But the worst part was yet to come. The very next day, my husband actually bragged about it, about sleeping with his ex in their boys' group chat. He didn't seem ashamed or sorry. Instead, he acted like it's something to be proud of. The friend also told me something even more painful to hear. Apparently my husband had been telling his friends that our marriage is rocky. And we both have an open arrangement in our marriage. So he is basically single and can do what he wants. According to him, that's why what he did with his ex isn't technically cheating. By this point, my mouth was literally on the floor. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was like everything I thought I knew had been turned upside down. First of all, my husband had cheated on me while I was at home, pregnant and vulnerable. But what hurt even more was that on top of the cheating, he has been lying about our marriage to everyone around him. He clearly made up this lie, just so he could justify his actions to his friends. It wasn't just me he was lying to, it was everyone. The betrayal felt like a punch to the gut, and I was overwhelmed by a mix of sadness, anger, and disbelief. How could someone you love so deeply hide so much from you? How could he treat our marriage like it was a game? I thanked the friend for his honesty and told him I would keep everything he shared completely between us. He was kind enough to understand and even sent me a bunch of pictures from that night. Photos of my husband with his ex, laughing, hugging, clearly close. Seeing those pictures broke me down in tears, but alongside the sadness, a fire of anger has ignited inside me. I am angry at the betrayal, angry at the lies, and angry that he thought he could get away with it. Honestly, I feel like I want to completely crush this man, the one who betrayed me, lied to me, broke my trust in the worst possible way. I don't think I can just let this go quietly or walk away without making him understand the damage he's done. So, I'm turning to you guys for ideas. What can I do to make him pay for what he's done? I want to hit back in a way that leaves an impression, because after seeing those pictures and hearing everything from his friend, I know one thing for sure. We are done. This marriage is over. But I can't just let him get away with it. I can't just walk away peacefully pretending like nothing happened. He needs to face the consequences. So please, if you have any advice or suggestions, anything that might help me stand my ground or get some justice, I'm all ears. Update 4. Thank you all so much for the support and suggestions you've sent my way. Reading your comments really helped me feel less alone, and I appreciate every single one of you who took the time to share advice or just listen. This week, after talking with some close friends about what's going on, they helped me connect with a lawyer who specializes in situations like mine. I'm still gathering information and trying to understand all my options, but it feels good to know I have someone professional on my side who can guide me through this. I also called my parents and finally broke down, telling them everything. The cheating, the lies, how my husband has been treating me. My dad was furious when he heard what my husband did. He couldn't believe how he betrayed me, especially while I'm pregnant. But I asked him not to say anything to my husband just yet, at least not until I'm ready to leave. My parents have been incredibly supportive and have offered to let me move in with them. They promised to take care of me and the baby no matter what. And knowing I have their support means the world to me right now. My husband still hasn't come back home. At this point, I've stopped calling him because I don't want to put myself through more disappointment or silence. I'm focusing on taking care of myself and the baby for now. It's hard, but I'm trying to stay strong and keep moving forward one day at a time. I'll keep you all updated as things develop. Update 5. Today I finally made the decision to leave my husband. This morning I woke up to a message from him saying he was on a flight back home. When I saw that, something inside me told me that this was the right moment to take control of my life and leave. I knew I couldn't wait any longer. With the help of my friends and parents, I packed up my bags quickly. Before I left the house, I printed out all the pictures my husband's friend had sent me. Those photos of him with his ex, so clear and undeniable. I laid them all out on the kitchen counter, right where he would see them as soon as he walked in. I wanted him to face the truth without any way to deny it or run from it. This wasn't just about leaving. It was about reclaiming my dignity and standing up for myself and my baby. Suffice it to say, just 2 hours after I left, my phone started ringing non-stop. It was him, my husband. He must have called me over 200 times, left multiple voicemails and sent texts begging me to listen, asking if he could explain himself. But I refused to answer even once. I wasn't ready to hear anything from him because I don't trust him anymore. Not giving up, he then tried to contact my parents. That backfired quickly. My father, who's a veteran and not someone to be taken lightly, gave him a serious piece of his mind. He made it absolutely clear that if my husband ever tried to come near me again, he would deal with him himself. My husband knows my dad well enough to understand that this wasn't a threat to take lightly. Since then, my husband has been keeping his distance. For now, all official communication between us will only happen through our lawyers. It's painful, but I know this is what I need to protect myself and my baby. Update 6. It's been about 3 months since my last update and so much has happened. My ex and I are now officially divorced. The process was far from easy. He was actually quite nasty. He did everything he could to delay the proceedings, dragging things out longer than necessary and making the whole experience even more stressful for me. One of the biggest struggles was that he didn't want me to receive any alimony or financial support. He argued against it every step of the way, trying to make me believe I should walk away empty-handed. But thankfully, I had solid evidence, photos, messages, and witness statements that proved his betrayal and the unfairness of his behavior. The judge reviewed everything carefully and ultimately ruled in my favor. As for the child, my ex has requested a paternity test after I give birth. Can you believe this? He seriously doubts whether the child is his or not. After everything he's done, he has the audacity to doubt me. He said he'll only agree to pay child support once the test confirms he's the father. Honestly, at this point, I'm so hurt and angry that I sometimes wish I had cheated, just so the child wouldn't have to deal with a father like him. What kind of person refuses to stand by their child? Also, what kind of child deserves a father who doubts them before they're even born? It's been one more painful reminder of just how little respect and love he has for me and our baby. But I'm trying to stay strong for my child's sake and keep moving forward no matter what.